I'm going to ask you, how much do you want? Like, I could give you enough that within 5 hours it would be ready, or I could give you enough that it'll take several days to get ready.
Enough for a day.
Okay. What I'm going to do is...
Or couple days.
I love all your glass storage containers.
Oh my gosh, you haven't even seen the beginning of it.
It's fantastic though.
It's
so sick of plastic ones that don't work.
Come and look at this. This is unbelievable.
Oh.
like basically this entire thing is Pyrex.
That's awesome.
like at one time I realized I would cook every meal for myself for the rest of my life when I realized I was allergic to everything. And so I was like, well, this stuff is pretty cheap in 2007. It'll be more expensive in 2012. I'm just going to buy a lifetime supply. And so I went and bought all this stuff at Walmart. I love Pyrex, but if you ever need some, I got some for you.
You should become the rep in town.
Yeah. So, okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give each of you a couple big colonies.
So would you want to drink kombucha and that also? Do they have a specific bacteria or is it not the same?
They're different, but there's a couple of things they have in common.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that, watch what I'm doing. I do this all the time, you guys. I'll take my colony down to next to nothing, like a little tiny one, and then the whole thing will grow afresh again. It's so cool. It's just like literally, I could be left with this, and within a couple of months, like I would have so many of them, I wouldn't know what to do with. It's like the Star Trek episode with the tribbles.
Yeah.
They're like tribbles. So I'm going to take everything, I'm going to leave myself with one little grain. Well, maybe two. And
that's how the permaculture group needs to become.
What's that?
The permaculture group should be like Cape here.
Yeah.
Fractaling out. Yeah.
This could definitely be the mascot for the...
You wanted
Okay, so I'm going to come and give you their life-giving nourishment here. And I'm just going to give you a tiny bit so that it doesn't spill all over your car on your way home. And then when you go home, fill it with the other milk that you want. This will keep them alive in the meantime.
Is there a certain point at which the medium's no longer good for eating? You want to eat it within a certain amount of time?
I don't think so, but most people will tell you that 24 hours is the best dosage of bacteria, because after that it becomes so acidic. It's like the sauerkraut. It used to have a lot of living stuff, but now pretty much everything's a pickle.
Okay.
That's sort of what I learned about that. Dominic Amphitheatro is the world authority on this stuff. He's the guy I bought it from. He's in Adelaide, Australia. He's just a health food nut. Works at a health food restaurant or something like that. But he claims he cured himself of irritable bowel syndrome with it, or ulcerative colitis, or some horrible thing. And
I think I need some.
Check this out. Even the structure of the way it runs down the glass is fractal, just like a river. It's really interesting how that goes. They're little fractal things.
It's grown.
So
just what's left in the bowl is enough to start a new colony, pretty much.
Yes, that's right. Even if there was nothing, if I just kept it going, eventually little ones would form. Wow. Yeah. It's crazy stuff, you guys. The more I read, the more I learn about all this amazing stuff. if you want to put them to sleep, you know, like to rest for a little while, you just put them in the fridge.
Okay.
Like that way, I don't have to like buy goat's milk all the time because it's very expensive. Because I only drink maybe half a cup of it a day, maybe a quarter of a cup.
Okay, so it gets to the acidity level you want, but you're not going to drink it all, just stick it in the fridge. It'll pause it.
Yeah, pause it, and it'll come back a little later. So, also, what's really cool is you can dry them. So if you rinse them off in non-chlorinated water, you can lay them on like in that dehydration thing that I showed you. Within 5 days, they will form into like this little crystal, and they will last for 2 years without any food.
Hibernate.
They basically go into a stasis. It's really cool stuff. So yeah, the kefir are amazing.
And then you just, if you want to cook like live, put it in lactose, that little dried, or is it too?
You would put them in non-chlorinated water for 2 hours to help rehydrate them,
Okay.
and then you would put them in milk, but you would change them every 24 hours without fail, and you would run them under the sink to try and exfoliate the dead surface off of them. And what you'll find is a very small fraction of that city has been left alive. It's sort of like putting them through that's like a zombie apocalypse or something. But a couple are left alive, and that's enough to like recolonize everything. It's really neat stuff. Yeah, you got to realize all science fiction is just science.
Yeah.
It's just people don't realize that like there's weird stuff out there, and so they write about it, and it sounds really fantastic. But I mean, when you look at the biology of the kefir colony, there's nothing that's not science fiction about it, and yet somehow it's real. It's this little immortal thing, you know, the zombie apocalypse stuff, able to like crystallize itself and then, you know, come back. I mean, literally, it's like that crystal that Superman threw in the snow at the North Pole. You know, like just the little tiny crystals enough to just grow like a world of it, as long as there's enough milk to support it. It's crazy stuff. So
did this stuff exist as a symbiotic organism naturally?
Here's what I think happened. Yeah, because you got to ask yourself, what happened before milk? Okay, well, mammals have been around for a while. And there's always, on the udders of mammals, there's always residual milk that's left over after the baby's suckled. There's bacteria everywhere. Okay, so what I think has happened with them is the bacteria that were able to cooperate together out-competed the ones that didn't, and certainly this one that had the ability to produce this gelatinous matrix was just brilliant in that respect. Because the gelatinous matrix allowed enough of them to sort of agglomerate together that they could shrink down for the season that the mother was not lactating, but then the next year, when she started lactating again, a few of them would come alive again and start the process over. So I think what it is literally the undersurface bacteria that live on mammals that formed it. And then like once we started like collecting milk into pools, it's just like the grain beetles. Like all of a sudden we've created a paradise for them. Isn't that wild? So, and technically I don't even really have to clean this strainer because that stuff is so acidic and it has all good bacteria on it. I never use soap on it, I just sort of do that and it's clean. So, now the kombucha is a different affair altogether. Like the kombucha needs to have a clean environment. But because you guys are hungry, we'll do the kombucha just in a little while. And instead, yeah, what time is this? Like 9:30?
Yeah, I looked up there and it says 12. I was like, wow!
It's always 1 before 12 in my house.
Yeah.
It's because I remember that video I showed you guys about the population of the bacteria. Yeah, I usually actually bring that clock to the class, and I'm like, what time is it when the bacteria bottles are half full? And I show the clock, 1 before 12. So, okay. So let's make some food.